Well, this is Radio TV Phononut, and I'm presenting to you another casualty of another crappy eBay packing job. Only I'm probably more livid about this one than I am any of them. I'm trying to remain calm on this family-friendly channel, but believe me, off camera I've said some things that is not fit for young ears to hear. What we have here is a Zenith Demonstrator 78 RPM record player from the late 40s. As you can see, Zenith Cobra Tone Arm record demonstrator. Featured in the new Zenith radio phonographs for record demonstration only, not for sale. Now, these were found easily in record stores, so potential buyers could audition a record before they bought it, see if they liked it or not. And also, it promoted the new lightweight Zenith Cobra Tone Arm, which for the 1940s was a vast improvement over most everything else that was out there at the time. It used a lightweight tone arm with a special cartridge. It's really not a standard crystal or ceramic or magnetic cartridge. It's actually just a needle attached to a coil that modulates it basically just modulates a miniature AM transmitter, even though the output of it's connected directly to the amplifier, and that's where how the modulation is produced. This particular one here has controls for off, on, and a volume control. There's a volume limiter control on the chassis to obviously limit how loud the customer can turn the set up. They don't want the whole store to hear it. It's got a nice amplifier, 2 6V6s in push-pull, a 6SC7 for the phase inverter and first audio amp, 5Y3 rectifier, and whatever the phono oscillator tube is, 7F7 or something, I don't remember. Well, this was about the crappiest packing job of anything I've ever gotten. But keep in mind, this wasn't some $10 kitty phono. This was not a cheap purchase. I decided I'd use the proceeds from some of the other junk that I've been selling on eBay over the past few months to finally get something nice, but these eBay sellers, they don't care. You know, don't bother them a bit. It don't matter if it's a $5 item or a $500 item. They do the same crap they normally do by just throwing it in a box and hoping for the best. And what happened on this one, the tone arm got snapped off back here at the pivot point, and it looks like it would be easy to snap it back on, but I've been trying for 45 minutes and can't get it to line up right, so I'm going to have to tear this all apart and try to finagle it and get it back on here. Thank goodness no plastic's broken, but still, if I had sold something to somebody for what I paid for this thing, I would have made an extra special effort to make sure it was boxed to get there in one piece, and not just throw it in a box and throw your excess trash in the box. Now, to protect the tone arm, they had this Lay's potato chip can slid over the arm. And obviously that didn't do any good. So what you're seeing here was pretty much all that was in this box. And this old box is old and flimsy and worn out. And what they should have done is securely wrap the tone arm in bubble wrap really well. Taped it down so it could not move whatsoever. Even placed cardboard on top of it and taped that to it. And then wrapped the whole thing securely in bubble wrap. Placed it inside of a box. Then placed that box inside of a bigger box with at least 3 or 4 inches on all sides to allow room for foam or packing peanuts or whatever. And had they done that, this thing might have come to me without the tone arm getting snapped off the back. Given how lousy this thing was packed, I'm surprised it wasn't no more damaged than what it is. And even if I was to file an insurance claim with this through the post office, there's no way they'd honor it because this thing was a long way from being packed to our post office specifications, and I don't blame them for not honoring it. People need to realize that these boxes are not carried from one location to another manually by little old men and little old ladies. They're ran through an automated process. The carriers have millions of boxes to deal with on a daily basis, and stuff has to be packed to survive. I'm not taking up for the carriers, but that's just the way it is. You have to pack this stuff to survive a nuclear blast. You can't just throw it in a box like this with your few pieces of little trash that you got for free at the post office and the leftovers of your Lay's potato chips. I'm glad you like your Lay's Stacks potato chips, but the containers that they come in are not conducive to protect tone arms. Here's the amplifier. Here's our volume limiter control. It's a nice power transformer based amp, nice 8-inch field coil speaker. There's our phono oscillator chassis for the Cobra pickup. That little red thing is the actual Cobra pickup assembly. I unplugged it from the tone arm. I'm sure it's trash now after it got banged around in shipping. They don't exactly give those things away anymore when they turn up. In fact, the only one I'm finding is on eBay, and I think the dude wants like $85 for it, which is ridiculous. The ones on the VM site that are about the only one still available is the one with the 2mm stylus for all speeds. Of course, this is 78 only, so we don't need to worry about the other two speeds, but that may be what we have to go with. Now, some people have actually had luck with installing a ceramic cartridge into the tone arm and just bypassing this phono oscillator assembly and going directly into the amplifier, but I'd kind of like to keep this as original as possible, so we'll just have to see where it goes. But first we've got to determine how I'm going to handle this situation as far as the damage and how to fix the tone arm. But just one more time, just another careless seller that has a piece of rare history that survived for 70 some odd years, and they just carelessly throw it in a box and just don't give a rip. Well, maybe they'll start giving a rip when enough of us start hitting them for a refund for the damage that's caused because of their carelessness, and maybe then they'll start getting a clue and start packaging this stuff to specifications.